just like, because like a battle in my head of just like, am I making the right decision? Like, will I even be able to do this? I was literally just like doubting myself, and that's the worst thing you can do. But you know, if anyone's going through that shit, you just gotta, day by day, just what can you do better today than you did yesterday? It's such a corny thing to say, but it's the most real thing to say too. Man. It's the most real thing to say. So true.
Welcome to the after party.
Up on to the real party at the fucking after party.
What you said again?
On some real shit, this dude right here that's holding the camera, he might be the next LeBron James.
You feel me?
How you see it?
I'm a good host. I am a good host.
Oh, it's the party calling.
Had no need to fight tonight.
No, so this microphone is really good, like really good. It picks up everything, so I pretty much just I export the audio and then put it on, or sync it with the video.
Yeah, no, that's great. Do you do the clapping thing? So it's like...
Nah.
That's what we do. We clap and then that's the start. But whatever works. It's gotta be pretty easy since you just...
Yeah, I literally just go through it. It only sucks when you're clipping like the clips for social media.
Yeah.
You gotta go back through them. With Final Cut, you don't have the multi-view, it's the side by side.
Yeah.
So it's shitty. But I got Adobe Pro now.
So you're chilling. Yeah.
I started learning it, and it was in section 2 I found a 5-hour class, master class.
Dude, it's essential, but it's gonna suck. But if you break it up into like an hour each day or something, or like 30 minutes over 10 days, you're chilling. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, but I'm ready whenever you are.
No, we're starting.
Oh,
we're
shit. We're here. Okay, bet. All right.
This is
hell
the
yeah.
after party.
Hell
man.
yeah.
This is the after
we're
party.
about it. We're about it.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm just chilling. Yeah. And had a good day so far.
Had a great day.
A great day. I can't complain.
You were in that meeting for hours.
Yeah, dude. I thought it was going to be like a 30-minute thing. Dude, he just kept talking. And every time So this is how he would explain it. He would explain like what he'd do, which like... For the people who don't know, it's like this guy runs visual production. His name's Byron Hutchinson. He runs visual production for music festivals and for like concert venues and stuff. And he like installs the equipment, like the cameras, the lights, the sound, everything. But he's really into the visual side. So much I didn't know. This man would just like, he would talk about one thing and I'd be like, oh, so that's what you do. That's like it. That's what you do. That's pretty cool. And then he would expand, and like this happened over like 2 hours. It felt like. But it's insane. One of the things I learned is that at some shows, the lighting and everything is done active during the show. So they hit all the effects to the beats and everything, and they just do it to the show. Like, of course, if you're going to like some crazy dubstep concert, like crazy dubstep, like for example, Excision, they're insane. But he said that all their stuff is pre-made. But there's this guy, Chuck Diesel, Cincinnati EDM artist, shout out Chuck Diesel. He is the biggest Cincinnati EDM artist right now that I know of currently, but this is what Byron said as well, so I assume that's true. And he kind of just like built his way from the ground up in Cincy. He met Byron, they got together, and when they got together is when he was able to take his shows to the next level. It just wasn't some guy performing some crazy music, people getting hyped to it. He was able to have like just like that extra element, you know, it's like going from 2D to 3D. It's like that extra dimension that really just expanded everything. And it's insane to hear their story because like that's the route that I kind of want to go down to. So instead of just like having to do trial and error, it's like, okay, what did you guys do? What worked for you? Let me see if that works for me. Yeah, so I'm super excited to see what comes of it.
Yeah, seems like you guys really connected from what I could hear. I was napping.
Yeah, I came down, I was like, oh shit, was he sleeping?
No, I was dead asleep for a second, but that's my time to like shut my brain off because I'm going
24/7. Of course, we all are. Yeah, you gotta have that time. You gotta get some time to yourself.
Even if it's 20 to 40 minutes, you gotta do it.
Oh, for sure, dude. Those are the best naps. The short ones, bro, you wake up and you're like, oh my god, I'm alive again. Yeah, it's crazy. It's some good shit. But That man, seriously, I'm telling you guys, Byron Hutchinson and Chuck Diesel, bro. Look them up. They are insane, absolutely insane. They run. If you guys are from Cincy or aware of Cincy Bay, Byron, he does part of the Blink Light Show as well, which is like a 2-year festival that is just like absolutely insane. It brings in like over 1 million people from outside of Cincinnati, outside Ohio, not just Ohio, like 1 million people outside. So, not this 2020, but in 2021 it happens again. Get your tickets. It's crazy. Actually, it's free. I think it's free. Just show up. Just show up. Just show up.
All right, this is Ryan. Ryan, what's your last name?
Hartshorn.
I forgot to intro you.
Hartshorn.
Hartshorn.
Yeah.
This is Ryan Hartshorn. He's one half of DMP. If you guys don't remember, we interviewed J.R. Connerty back in December. Well, this is Ryan Hartshorn. He's the second half. He's a graphic designer. Well, we actually created a name.
What do you call it? Something curator. Like
it was
environmental curator.
Digital environmental curator.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
Yeah. So what I try to do is, it's hard to describe. I make environments in Cinema 4D, which is a program that if you guys are trying to do anything visual related, definitely jump into it. It's really hard to learn. You're gonna suck dick for like probably 2.5 months. But once you get like through the threshold and you start understanding and you start like riding the bike again, or not riding the bike again, but start getting like your feet moving, oh my god, it's a life changer. It's so amazing.
I can't wait to try it.
Yeah, no, seriously, I'm being dead ass. Like, this shit is the game changer. Like, you can do Premiere Pro, you can do Sony Vegas, you can do Final Cut, you can do After Effects, but none of it will be able to elevate your game like Cinema 4D. It's insane.
So what about it makes it different than, an Adobe or a Final Cut? Is it a blank canvas, so to speak, or?
Yeah, literally, you just let your mind go wild. You like when you open it up, there's literally nothing in front of you. There's a whole bunch of buttons. Some like, I've been working with Cinema 4D hardcore for like 2 years, but overall probably about like 5 years. But just like really limited for those first 3 years, and just like the difference that it makes is unreal, because you can, when you're in After Effects, most of the time, I'll say most of the time, because there are people who like go out into After Effects and just create something completely new on their own, but most of the time they're taking clips that they had shot or clips that someone else shot, or maybe like clips from like a movie or something, and editing those together, and like it's sick, right? But when you're in Cinema 4D, you make what you want. So it's like really just it expresses the artist more, I think, in other ways, because you really tap into the mind of the artist and like what they're thinking through their creation. And it's just literally, I cannot vouch for it enough. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Is it like a one-time payment, or is it annual, monthly? How does it work?
So you can get students pricing. You can, so if you guys have ever looked at software packages, they're crazy expensive because their main market isn't the individual user, it's a company or like something with many people working together, or maybe like a school or something, and that's why they maybe like $1,500 for like 20 licenses or something. I'm not gonna say it, but there are other ways around this scenario. Allegedly, there are other ways around this scenario. Personally, I may or may not know, but maybe a Google search will help you out, or like a YouTube search or something, and you can kind of just find the path your own way. I have never had any issues with the pathway that I had taken, so just kind of go with it, see what you can do, and I really do recommend it to anybody who wants to get into digital creation. So yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. How did you get started, creating digitally, as you call it?
Yeah, so like freshman year of high school, I was playing Call of Duty, and I was with my friend Larry, or Lorenzo, or whatever you want to call him, and he was like, hey man, you want to help me shoot some cinematics for this Call of Duty video? I was like, what do you mean? Cinematics? Like, what is that? He's like, just go in a private match with me and just run where I tell you to run, and I'm going to follow you with, like, the spectator camera or whatever. And I was like, okay. So I did that, and then I was like, okay, whatever. Didn't hear from him, like, 2 days, you know. He lived, like, in New York or something. I'm in Ohio. Like, we're just playing with each other when we play. And then he messaged me on Xbox. He's like, look at this video I made. I see the video. I'm like, dude, that's amazing, even though it was absolutely horrible. I was like 14 at the time. I was like, that is so cool. Like, I want to do that. And so he basically explained to me, like, I needed, like, this program. Got him, started working. Everything I made was absolutely horrible, but I had fun, you know? Like, my favorite process is not knowing what you're going to do, then just, like, trying to figure your way out. You figure it out, and you're like, oh my God, now I finally have, like, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, I know where I'm going with this, and once I get there, it's amazing. And then you finish it, and it's great. So after that happened, I got super into it. I told my parents about it. They were like, what's going on? This is like in 2012, 2011, by the way.
Long time ago.
Yeah. Like, before Cole Bennett, before, like, any, like, the only thing that was popular, like, regarding digital creation, besides, like, movies and stuff, was literally Call of Duty edits. It was FaZe Clan and, like, Optic and, like, Soar. Those three, like, those were the ones, like, people saw and, like, oh my God, like, they're doing this, and, like, a bunch of people started doing it. Of course, all those kids were, like, in high school at the time, so a lot of them kind of, like, fell off, you know, got into the real world, got into college, got into jobs. Maybe they just didn't like it. That doesn't matter. But for me, it always stuck with me. I started, like, when I was 15, so I was 14, and then when I turned 15, I was, like, a sophomore in high school, and I got to take my first digital media class. Mr. Lewis, the greatest man ever. I'm going to get a short tangent here. I don't want to spend too much time. Mr. Lewis was, like, the only person who saw what I did. And
you got all the time in the world.
Yeah, true. So Mr. Lewis was he saw what I did, and he was an expert at Photoshop, like, absolutely disgusting at Photoshop. He didn't use After Effects too much, which is what I used, but disgusting. So he basically, one day I got the courage, because I never told anybody about this. Like, I was freshman, sophomore in high school, like, you know, I was kind of, like, a little insecure, I guess, about that stuff, because that's not, like, what the cool kids are doing and stuff.
You were young, too. You know what I'm saying? So you can't really cut yourself some slack.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Exactly. So I didn't tell anybody about this, and then one day I worked with the courage, and I was like, maybe Mr. Lewis will appreciate this. So I showed it to him, and he was blown away. He thought I had used presets to do all my effects and everything. Like, he thought I had just used, like, the default presets, like, with all the sliders adjusted, all, like, the blending modes changed, everything. And I was like, presets? What are presets? Like, I didn't even know that they were a thing, right?
Wow.
So when I told him that, he was like, wait, so you actually went and, like, did all this on your own? And I was like, well, I watched some, like, YouTube videos, so, I mean, I guess I kind of did it on my own, but I was kind of, like, taking other people's ideas, right? And he's like, no, like, you're using the tools that are given to you. Like, you're not stealing ideas, you're just learning about the program. So when he told me those things, my confidence shot through the roof. I was like, oh my God, like, this, like, I feel good about myself for doing this. Like, this is something that literally no one else in the school could have done.
Right.
Like, if they put the time into it, they could have, but no one else was doing it. So fast forward to my junior year, I was at soccer, and it was, like, in August. I think it was, like, the first week of August or something. We had a practice. We just practiced, and we, like, got together at the end or whatever, like, talk about what we were going to do. Like, we had a scrimmage coming up or something. And my coach, Mr. John Stubbs, also an important figure in my life, but that's besides the point. He told us that Mr. Lewis had died in a motorcycle accident, some freak motorcycle accident, like, the day before. And I just lost it, you know? Like, I literally had just lost it. First person I ever lost in my life, super hard. And I, like, at that point, I didn't have, like, anybody else to, like, show to. So I just kind of, like, stayed low-key. I didn't really do anything with it for a long time. And then fast forward, like, freshman year of college, I kind of got into it a little bit again. Like, I had been a long break, and I, like, did one thing on my own. I was like, oh, this is fun. Like, I forgot how good this is. And then I just kind of did, like, a bunch of little projects, like, just for myself. And then I kind of stopped because I had school going on, I was working, I had a bunch of stuff going on, and of course social life, like, the school life, social life, and working, like, that takes up, like, almost all your time, and then you have to sleep on top of that. Hell no.
Right.
So that was going, and then I started a internship did that for like a year. It was perfectly fine. Loved the people there, but I knew it wasn't for me. So I was like, I need to find something else. I was like, what do I actually enjoy doing? Like, I looked at all the things I would do or like research or look into when I didn't need to. And I like found like a couple things. Like I liked looking at stats of like sports and stuff and like comparing them. I liked the digital media, and there's like something else I was thinking about, but it was just like a backup thing, you know? So I was like, okay, I could either become like some type of analyst or a like digital creator. And I was thinking about the analyst. I'm like, well, I don't even like my internship, which is like information systems, which is kind of statistics, but for a company rather than like a sports team.
Right.
And like, would I really like it that much more? Like, my favorite team's the New York Knicks. They're dog shit, I know. But
sorry for your
yeah, it's been a rough, long time. Long time. But anyways, like, my dream job would have been to be like an analyst for the Knicks, right? And I'm like, what are the chances of that happening? Probably lower than being like a digital creator, because that's like, I could be working for that job and I could get stuck somewhere in like another firm or another company while I'm trying to build up my resume to get there, and then maybe like I get comfortable and I'm just chilling and I'm just living day-to-day life, which is not what I want to do. So I dropped that off. I was in my last year of college and I called my parents and I'm like, yeah, I'm dropping out. And they're like, what? Like, you have 2 semesters left, just finish. I'm like, no, because if you just finish, what's the next step? Just find a job. And then if you find a job, it goes back to the comfortability thing and getting stuck in like some place I don't want to be. So they like were super pissed at me, and or not like pissed, but they're just like thought I was making a dumb decision, you know? And to me, like, I thought I was making a dumb decision too. I didn't really have a plan of what was going to happen, you know? I was just like, I know that this is not what I want to do. So after all of that had happened and I dropped out, I talked to JR, the other half of DMP.
Shout out JR.
Yes, JR, amazing man. Literally, like, cannot speak highly enough for him. But me and him, I tweeted out, who wants to go to Lyrical Lemonade Music Festival? Because it was like the first one that they had. And I like quoted their tweet or whatever, and I said, who's trying to go? He replied to me. I had not talked to him since high school at that point. So this is like 3 years later. We played, just a little backstory, we played high school soccer on a club team together for like 3.5 years or something like that. And we were super tight then. Just we went to different colleges. We went to different high schools. So like once we like went our separate ways, we just didn't really talk to each other. We kept in touch like on social media or whatever. But we went to this festival, right? And when we were driving down, because we're in Cincinnati, or he was in Cincinnati, I was in Dayton. But when we were driving from Ohio to Chicago, I started telling him about my friend Noah Price, who makes music. Prano, Prahno, another shout out. Amazing kid. Super talented, production and vocal wise. Kind of sounds like a Nav a little bit. Not really, but a little bit.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And
keep talking. I'm gonna shut the camera over.
I got you. And so we're driving Noah, and I'm like, yeah, dude. So I'm just like thinking about like shooting music videos and stuff for him, because that's a long drive. Like, you gotta find some shit to talk about. So yeah, and I knew JR was into photography. Like, I'd seen his pictures on Instagram and stuff, and I was like, those are really good. And I was like, maybe you could shoot some shots or like take some pictures with us. And he's like, actually, me and my friend Trevi Leon, who doesn't make music really anymore, which is kind of sad because he's amazing, but he told me about how he planned on shooting a music video with him. So I was like, oh shit, like, maybe me and you work on Noah's video and Trevi's music video together to like kind of get some creative bounce back going from each other.
And this was about, what year was this?
Whatever the first Summer Smash was, so like 2017, I think. Okay. I think it was summer of 2017.
Right.
And so we had just like talked about it or whatever, and then maybe we get back from the festival. Like, we didn't talk much about it after that, but maybe like a month later, I was seeing a girl from... a month later we talked about it again, and we were like kind of planning stuff out, but still, it's just like one of those things, like, there's been plenty of times you ever talk about hanging out with somebody and then like just kind of doesn't happen.
Right.
So nothing happened, and then maybe like in 2018, like some spring of 2018, somewhere around there, I had came down to see this girl that goes to UC, and she was going to class, and we were supposed to like hang out for that day. So while she was at class, I was like, I need something to do. I just don't want to sit at her place by myself, right? So I hit up JR, and I'm like, hey man, you want to like hang out for a couple hours? And so we go and hang out. We go and we free climb this abandoned building, actually, which was super cool. Like we had to literally climb up this thing. It was so tall. But when we were up there, he busts out his camera and he started taking pictures. I'm like, okay, like we should do this like on a regular basis. And we were like trying to think about like what direction would we go? Would it be for fun or for seriousness? So at this point in 2018, we are both out of college at this point. We both have been through the process. We both like agreed with ourselves personally on like a single basis between like separated from each other that it wasn't for us, right?
Right.
So after that, we were like, okay, we should probably try to take this a little bit seriously and just see what happens.
Right. What's good, Mike?
And after that, we came down and we would start shooting a music video for Trevi, taking pictures and everything, and it just kept getting a little more serious. And like at this time, we hadn't discussed like how important it was to each of us, but we both knew that was important to us.
Right.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, like this is like I want to do this so bad, like this is the route I want to take. But I didn't want to like come off super strong and like try to make
that guy like, yo, let's.
Yeah, I didn't want to force him into something. I didn't know really how he felt. Like I knew he liked it, but JR is like such a nice, good guy that he has like a positive energy towards anybody who has a positive energy, right? So since I knew that, I'm like, I don't really know how he feels. Out of the blue one day, I get a text. It's like this long on the screen, explaining about like everything, how he feels and everything. Right. I'm like, dude, this is the exact same thing I'm thinking. He's like, all right, well, when should you move to Cincinnati? When should we start this? Literally like 3 weeks later, we found this place on Probasco Street and like signed the lease and everything, got it going. So this is 2019 now. This is January 2019 when we signed this lease. We are like, okay, we gotta get some shit going before we move in together. Like we gotta have everything prepared. We need to have all like things set up and ready to go. So like, what's the first thing we can do? Well, we need money. So we need money to get cameras, green screen, stabilizers, lights, LED, like color wands, everything. What can we do for that? One, we both have to work a ton. So we're both working our asses off at our jobs. And second, we also need even more money because like that's our personal money. We need like DMP money. So what we do is we try to order these hats from Lids. Fuck Lids. I know they're going out of business now, but fuck Lids.
We kind of kicking them while they're down.
Literally, dude, I don't care. They fucked us over so hard. We order these hats, right, and we order like 30 of them or something. I can't remember, but it was like $500 for them because these are nice hats. Like they are the old 47 hats. They had embroidered stitching and like multicolor, super nice hats. We're not hearing back from anybody for a while. This happened, we did this in February, February. It gets to the beginning of April, we're not hearing anything from anybody, right?
Right.
So we're like getting a little worried, so we start emailing some people like what's going on, like where are our hats? And they tell us that the store that we had ordered them from was shut down because the whole company is going out of business. And we were told that they were sending our order to another store to complete it. So like, okay, no worries, like we understand that's got to be like a lot going on and it's going to take some time. Like obviously there's other orders. We don't want to just think about ourselves. Like there's other people going on. So we wait another month, don't hear anything. And so I'm getting like heated at this point, right? Because we had talked up these hats. We had shown them to people because we got pictures of them and we're like getting pre-orders and everything to our friends. And we hear that there's only like 8 of them made out of the 30 that we ordered. So we end up getting those 8, but we don't get the other 22, and we don't get our money back, which, like, that's why fuck Liz. If they would give us our money back, completely fine.
Exactly.
Right, because that's a respectable thing to do.
Right.
But we didn't get our money back, and so we got those 8 hats. So we can't sell those hats to make a profit at that point, right? Because we're already down $500. And so like that just like is just like a shot in the foot when we're trying to start up, you know. And so next we're like, okay, fuck it, we just gotta move past, like you can't hold on to like what the bad things.
Can't hold a grudge.
Exactly. So we started doing like song covers, like cover art for people and everything, getting like maybe like $20-$25 here and there, $30, and we saved up enough money for also we ran an Instagram that brought us like $200 a month, which was a saving fucking grace.
How'd you do that?
JR Connect. He was already running Instagram, and he did the most selfless thing, and those $200 that was supposed to go into him, he just put it into DMP every month. So we had a consistent, like $200 is not a lot of money whatsoever.
That is a lot for a startup.
Exactly. Like, and it's consistently coming in. I'll take that every time. So we get that, we save up money, we get like our green screen and our lights and everything, and then next is upgrading our lenses. We get our lenses, everything's going good, and like this is August at this point. So like when we moved into this house in August, that's like the start of DMP for us. Like we started it before, but that's like all preparation to get to this point. And we have this super talented artist that we work a lot with, named Frez. Shout out Frez, he lives here. He's the
shout
homie.
out Frez, I don't know where he's at, but shout him out.
Just Frez B. It's just Frez B on Instagram. Seriously, goon, bro. You need to look up all the songs. Nina, Flower Boy, Say Deuce, what's the other one? Downsize.
Right.
Every single one of those, you need to go and listen to them 100 times.
Turn this podcast off and go listen to it right now.
Yes, dude. If this is the last
and
thing,
then come back.
Yeah. Seriously, they're so good. Insanely talented. Anyways, so we started working with him a lot, getting like just pictures done, and we're just doing a bunch of DIY stuff, you know. We don't really know anybody down here too much. We're just making stuff for ourselves, waiting for people to come to us, right? So, DMP has started. We're getting it going. We made shirts. They sold out like in like a week and a half. We had them all sold, except for like we wanted to keep a couple, like one for everyone in the house, and then just to keep a couple, just like for like the nostalgia, I guess, you know. So we have one extra shirt left or something. Right. And ever since then, dude, it's just been like a grind, like literally a grind. Like when I mean a grind, like when I say grind, I mean like
work, it's a grind.
It's a grind. When like for you guys listen, if you think you're grinding and you're not staying up till 7:00 in the morning to get something done or to push yourself to the next level, you may be grinding, but you're not grinding as hard as me. And
he's one of the hardest workers in the digital creator space. I can personally vouch for that. I've seen it.
Yeah, especially like another pro tip. I think I say I'm a pro. I'm not really a pro, but another good tip.
You can call yourself pro.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot, kind of, just a little bit. But if you make something and you think it's good, which everything, you should have confidence and like enjoyment in everything you make, and there's nothing wrong with making something that other people think is not as good as it should be. But if you can look at your work after you make it, because whenever I make something, I'm like, this is amazing, I'm a god, like this is great, because I'm the only person who can make it. Like other people can make it, but I'm the one who came up with this idea to make this.
In your own head, yeah.
Yes. I do that, and when I'm done with that, I can literally watch the video and be like, this part is shit, I can do better here, I can do better here. If you can't take one thing out of every single thing you make and find something wrong with it, you're never gonna jump.
Well, yeah, there's always something, even if no matter how many views it gets, there's always something that you see wrong with it. You're like, man, I could have took this opportunity here, I could have, tweaked this here, but no, I just wanted to,
just like put it out. Like deadlines are another thing. Deadlines are important, but they should not be the end all be all. If you're a visual artist and you're working for a musician, and now when like I've never worked with like labels or anything, so I don't know how like iffy that shit gets. But if you're like coming up and you're working for another musician and they say, and you tell them, give me 10 days to finish it, I'll have it done. And on day 8, day 9, you're like, I feel like I can do better. Like you're like, I feel like I can do better. You DM that artist and be like, hey man, I need 4 more days. And most of the time they'll be chill because it's their product too. It's your product, but it represents them. Exactly. You know what I mean? So they also want the best thing. Never pressure yourself on deadlines to get something done. Always go for the best quality that you can get. So that shit is just like...
That's something that I gotta fight every day because I'm like, oh, I can put this out here, but I can put it out here on this day. But when those days start creeping up, you know how it is as a creator. You're like, give me like 5 more days.
Yeah,
you know?
Please.
Let me get away from the computer, then come back. Let me see what it looks like.
Yeah, like let me get a breath of fresh air. Yeah.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge, especially if you are starting to monetize and you want to make it the best, but you also want a efficient product.
Because like
create a system to continually get money.
Yeah, that's why the best decision when I made something, I used to make it and then post it. You want to make something and just like hold on to it for a little bit, see kind of like your ideas settle and everything. And then even if you make something and then you just start making something else before you post it, that's even better. Because then you have that one in your back pocket waiting while you're making something else. So then, like, let's say you finish the second one, stop and post the first one. You post the first one, you got the second one in your back pocket for like another week while you're making something else. Mm-hmm. And it gives you just more time to keep that content floating. You got to keep like a little treasure chest, Yeah. So, I mean, there's just like... It's just a crazy experience that personally I've gone through. I gave up a lot. I gave up friendships, relationships, a really nice job, almost a 4-year degree, and like mental health. Like for sure. Literally, like I gave up a lot of stuff, and it was 3 years of just like fucking hell, dude. Just like hell. Not even because of other people, just like because like a battle in my head of just like, am I making the right decision? Like, will I even be able to do this? I was literally just like doubting myself, and that's the worst thing you can do. But if anyone's going through that shit, you just gotta day by day, just what can you do better today than you did yesterday? It's such a corny thing to say, but it's the most real thing to say too. Man. It's the most real thing to say.
So true.
It's insane.
You gotta figure out something that you can grind every day. You don't have to necessarily like it every day, but that you can grind every day.
Exactly. You got to put time in.
Yeah.
As my man, No Cloud, I don't know him personally. He's a rapper. He has a song called All Black, and in his song All Black, he says, "You didn't put in half the work I did when I was 15." Literally, bro. I told you guys at the beginning. I was 15. Grinding that shit, staying up till 6 a.m. like I do now. It's when I was 15 years old, and there's nothing wrong with starting now. Like, it doesn't matter what age you are when you start. Just did you start and did you do it? So, just put in the work, and if you're having a bad day, just think it's just today. It's just today. Once tomorrow comes, the sun will rise again. You'll wake up. You may feel like shit that day, but there's another day coming after that.
True.
You just always gotta just keep your head up. Keep your head up, kid. Every time.
Talk about those days creatively, though, when it's shit. When it's shit creatively, how do you bounce back? Because I know you spend hours on the computer like I do.
And so I'm just sitting there looking at, like, is something going to happen? And I'm sitting there, I'm not touching anything. I'm like, is something going to happen? But there are a couple of things I do personally, and I recommend and I don't recommend these. Everyone's different for inspiration. First thing is I'll watch other people's edits, music videos, like anything on YouTube. You can find literally anything edited. I'll watch it, see if you never want to copy someone's like whole idea or theme or anything, but if they have one idea in there, it could spark one idea in your head that will lead to like 50 more. Exactly. So watching other people's work and respecting and appreciate that. You never want to create a toxic competition.
Exactly.
Healthy competition's good. Like, if I see someone, I'm, like, looking up to them, like, I'm going to catch you. And then when I catch them, I'm on to the next person, That's healthy competition. But second is I'll drive around, listen to music. Life itself, the environments, has so much inspiration, even in, like, the rough parts of town, the nice parts of towns, like, the middle of the city, the middle of nowhere. You can get inspiration anywhere. So just drive around, just, like, clear your head, look around. And just kind of like feel yourself. Third thing, and this is the one I don't recommend to most people, but it worked for me in plenty of scenarios, is when I was like battling through like super hard times and like I just wasn't like in the right mental space, I would literally like try to make myself as sad and as depressed as possible, and that shit would like, I would be feeling so down that I would need to pull myself out, right? And how did I do that? By creating something that I loved. So I would, and at that point in time, if I didn't feel that way, I wasn't creating, because I had attached creativity with like my sadness, I guess. And it's like another thing, it's like so corny to say, but like it really is what it is.
That shit is true though. You see on Twitter, like a lot of people tweet sad shit for clout now.
Literally,
and it's
dude.
like, bro, like, all right, you're gonna get caught in that same cycle of sadness, and now that's how you're monetizing yourself. So you're gonna end up depressed all the time.
And people see
like,
that shit, bro. Like I would never like tweet or like expose myself about being in a hard time, which if people need that,
well, it's healthy to a certain degree.
Yeah, well, I would do it to like personally, you know, like
right.
Yeah, like I'm not putting that shit on Twitter, not because like I want to show people the best version of me. It's just because that's a personal battle with me. It's not anyone else's like space to kind of like come in, you know. But I would never, going back to how I attach sadness to my creativity, I would literally only create when I was super sad, and I consciously knew that, and once I like, and it helped me so much, like it literally saved me. It literally saved me because I was able to see what I could do, and once I realized that I didn't like need that sadness or whatever to like push myself to the next level, I was like, okay, I really can make this something special. And it took me to be like all the way at the bottom, like rock fucking bottom, dude, like rock fucking bottom. And I know like if someone knew my exact life story, they'd be like, well, your life wasn't that hard compared to mine or some shit like that, and that may be true, but from my personal perspective, I was at the lowest.
Everybody has their own bottom.
Exactly. I was at the lowest I could have possibly have been. And when this time was around was when I ran to JR again, and we started like talking everything, and it like really helped me. And if I never would have used art to help me like mentally stabilize, I would never have had that kind of like connection or like the things that I made to like propel me. And that's why I always appreciate those times. Some people hate it. You may be in those times right now and you hate it, but one day you're gonna get out of it, you're gonna look back and you're like, god damn, I would not be here if I wasn't sitting on the floor, you know, just depressed as hell, didn't know what to do. It's just, I don't know. I know everyone goes through like the same, or like, how do I say this? We're all the same, right? We're all the same but different. We're all the same but different, right? Mm-hmm. And if I feel this way, I went through this, and I know I've seen other people, but I know for a fact everybody goes through the same shit, right? Because without good, or without bad, there's no good. Without sad, there's no happy.
Yeah, yin and yang.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just one of those things. Use it to your advantage. Use it to your advantage. That's what I did. I didn't realize I was doing it at the time, but in the end, it's one of those things. I would never go back in time to change anything. You know, people say, "Do you have any regrets in like movies and stuff before they killed the person?" Like, I have no regrets. Like that's how I feel. You know, like it was hell for 3 years, but we're here now. Look, I'm Jay chillin'. Jay chillin' on the block. Jay chillin' on the block.
For sure, man. You should be proud of yourself.
Oh, dude, it's one of those things. I am proud, but I know I can do better. You know? Yeah. It's like I'm proud for where I've gotten, but I'm not stopping. Hell,
you're
no.
pretty damn good. So like you should be proud. Like
yeah, it's just, and another thing about social media and creating, bro. Like I'm sure like you can go on YouTube and see Joe Rogan's podcast. That should have 1 million views in a day. Yeah. And like, god damn, bro. Like when I go and see someone, like I follow so many art people on Instagram, I'll see them, I'm like, god damn, bro. I have so much work to do. Yeah. I used to think, damn, I'll never be able to do that. You can't think that way. I got more work to do to get on that level, and you're Jay chilling.
It's just that consistency to
10,000 hours.
Yes.
10,000 hours.
Day after day, week after week, minute after minute.
Literally, bro.
Every day. It's mundane. The process to getting there, But it's gonna be so mundane that you gotta enjoy it. You gotta enjoy the mundanity. That's
stop
probably
and smell the roses.
But yeah, exactly.
Like you said earlier, before we started, stop and smell the roses.
Yeah. Well, no, you said something the other day that resonated with me. You said you should never look down. You should only be looking up.
Yes.
And that stuck with me ever since.
Yes.
Touch on that and what that means to you.
Yeah. So, this goes back to kind of what I was just saying, where Marq, he said, like, you're pretty damn good, and like, as like a personal respect to myself, not trying to be ignorant or anything. Like, I know I can make something that looks kind of cool, but I look at someone else's stuff and I'm like, damn, like I got a lot of work to do. I could do the vice versa and only follow people who are not as good as me or who are not like more talented or spend more time than me and look at this stuff and like, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. And there are people like that and they get stuck. One perfect example to me is Lil Xan. Lil Xan, he was mediocre at best, a little catchy, but I feel like and I don't know him personally whatsoever, like all this bullshit, this is just theoretical. With the way his career went, just going up, he probably at the point when Betrayed's getting 100 million views, he's probably like, I'm on top, like I'm the best right now, I'm like, my song's #1 on Spotify, all this stuff, and instead of like looking up towards like maybe global charts at that point, like when you get to that point, looking up and seeing like I need to be there, he's probably looking down, he's like, damn, look, I got a song higher than Chris Brown or something like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You always, no matter what your profession is, it could be a desk job, it could be a sport, it could be an art, it can be anything. You got not really know where you stand, but know where you want to be compared to where you are now. And like that's the difference between looking down and looking up to me.
There's always an aspect of what we do that can be tweaked, that can be fixed, that can go a different direction, that can look different, that
and
can
that's
sound
what goes
different.
back to the if you look at a video you made and you're like that's perfect, or if you listen to a song you hear or you made or a beat you made and you're like that's perfect. No, it's not. Nothing's ever perfect. Nothing is ever perfect. It can always be done a little bit better, and you may not be able to do it better now, but you can add that inspiration into like your next work of art or your paper or whatever you're doing. So it really is always look up, never look down. Number one rule.
That's a rule that a lot of people don't follow, man.
I think
a lot of people get chewed up and spat out.
Literally. I think they don't follow it because another thing that changed my life, a phrase that changed my life, my aunt, when I started my internship in 2017, whenever it was, I was super nervous, right? I was going into like a big boy job, you know, all this stuff. And she told me a phrase that I've kept with me in everything I do. You don't know what you don't know until you know you don't know it, right? So that looking up, looking down, they don't know that they don't know that, so that they can't apply it to themselves, you know?
Right.
And that goes with anything. Like let's say you start editing videos today. You don't know what masking is, so how can you use masking? Because you don't know what it is. And how can you learn masking? Because you don't know
You're
to search
unaware
for
that
it.
It even exists.
Exactly. Yeah. So ignorance is bliss, and if someone tells you something that you don't know, whether it has any regard to your personal life or not, you should respect that. Maybe you'll throw it out of your brain like a day later or something because it just doesn't matter to you, or maybe it resonates with you because you didn't know that you didn't know it until then, and then you can carry that on through life. Yeah. So those two phrases, look up, not down, and you don't know what you don't know until you don't know it. It's like a tongue twister or whatever, but it's like,
true.
It's so real. It's so real, and I, like those type of little things, I can never be more grateful for like people giving it to me, because information is the most valuable thing. We're in the information age, so information is worth more than $1.
Yeah,
because
information can get you that $1.
Exactly, exactly. There's like it's like the food chain. It's like information, then $1, and then like clout. You know, like literally. Like,
I fucking hate that word.
Yeah, exactly, clout. Dude. Okay, this little side tangent. Okay, before I get into Drake, because when he says that line, "Life's good," he's like, what does he say? He says, this is not clout.
Bitch, this is fame,
not clout. Yeah. That line is amazing. Yeah. That's like I'm not the biggest Drake fan because of recent. Old Drake, love him, whatever. But that line right there, oh my God. He may not have written it, but he said it and I heard it, and that's all I need. Bitches is fame, not clout. Like, there you go. That's someone who knows, bro. Like, information, money, clout. Well, like, there's, like, information, like, self-respect and love, and then money.
Well, if we're going by Maslow's
we're not
hierarchy
going
of
super
needs,
into it.
We're going on Ryan Hartwig.
Yeah, it's just like a general.
Hartshorn.
Hartshorn. Hartshorn.
Hartshorn.
Yeah. So
Ryan Hartshorn's
Instagram
hierarchy.
_ Ryan RYAN Hartshorn HARTSHORN _ and then also We Are DMP. Follow We Are DMP before you follow me.
I didn't even have to tell him to plug himself. Look at that. He's super media trained already.
I'm about it, bro. I'm about it. I've been on the grind today, so it's just like the only thing in my head. I'm gonna have to go back to work tomorrow. I'm gonna be like, I gotta run food. Why can't I create something? Why can't I take a video of this? I don't know.
I don't know. That's the shit.
That's
part,
a life,
man.
bro.
Yeah, that's the life. Yeah, there's
life.
always gonna be something that's gonna keep you grounded.
You gotta make money to do what you want. You need money to do what you want.
Even if you're doing what you want, there's certain aspects of doing what you want that are shitty.
Oh, for sure, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure, dude. I'm sitting there clicking keyframes for 3 hours over like a 30-second clip. Like, that shit boring as fuck.
No.
But I get done and I'm like, I'm glad I did that. So, just like going to the gym. No one really wants to go to the gym. But after you go to the gym for 3 months, you're like, damn, I'm glad I went to the gym for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So, some crazy shit.
But,
yeah. I don't know. You got any more questions? I don't know. I could talk forever, but.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. This is always the part in the middle of the podcast where I get stuck on questions. Oh yeah, how did you guys meet Mike?
Okay, so
I'd like to hear that story.
Yeah. So Mike met JR before we had gone to Summer Smash. So this is like, they probably met like 2016 or something. Mike was in some fraternity. I don't remember what fraternity it was, but he knew Ryan Robinson, who is our other roommate, and shout out Ryan Robinson, Young Lenny. And so they met through that, and then Mike had mentioned that he made music to JR, and Mike had invited him. Either Mike invited him or JR asked to get his studio, and he was making a song, Flower Boy. Listen to it. And when he got there, JR was like, this is amazing. Like, Mike busted that song out in like 2 hours or something. So when he found out about that, he also told me about him. I hadn't met him. So fast forward like a year later, I meet him. We're like playing basketball together or something. And I like listened to his shit and like started hearing him. I'm like, okay, like this is the real fucking deal. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no playing around with this. Like, there's one thing for me to be working by myself, but once you get another, like I'm not gonna say, like, he has talent, like his raw talent and hard work. It's like the combination of both talent and hard work. They're both there. Like, you can visibly see it in his music. You can hear it when he talks. You can see it in his actions. And like, from that moment, it was just like, I'm not meeting you, I'm living with you. Like, that's where we're going. And we both have that same kind of mindset. So things just kind of clicked together really well. And it was another like top 10 thing that, like, random occurrence that happened in my life that I'll never forget. It's amazing. It's crazy.
It's crazy how stuff works out, man.
Yeah, you just gotta keep your head down and work, and life will come to you. Yeah. Speak it into existence.
Yeah. You guys mesh so well together too. That's something that I've noticed since I've been down
Personalities
here.
are a big thing. That's like one thing with me and JR. Like, since DMP is like our baby, like, we'll work with people, but like to really bring somebody in, like, it's gotta be like, you gotta have the talent, you gotta have hard work, and you just gotta have like, be the right person. Like, if one of those three seems suspect, then it's just like,
it's off.
Like, we'll work with you, but you, like, there's no, like, you're part of DMP or stuff. Like, I don't know, like, it sounds like really douchey, but it's like our standards are high.
Yeah.
You know, because we know what we do and we know like how hard we work, and if someone comes in and they don't put in that same type of effort, same type of energy, then what's the point of them being here, you know? So
No, this is, and that's why I love doing it, because it's one of the few times where creatives get to sit down and actually just talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, creatives, we got to be quiet a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of us are introverted. I know I am. I'm introverted to a certain degree, even though I got a podcast, and I love you all. Everybody has been on, everybody
shout out
watches.
aftrParty.
But at the same time, it's like, man, I would be the same way without the camera than with the camera.
Yeah,
You know,
I feel that.
Yeah, so, you know,
Like,
I don't know. It's just different for me.
when you go to the artist being introvert, it's so true. It's so true. I think it's because I think more artists are introverted because that's how the best way they feel they can express themselves, which kind of seems like an obvious thought, you know?
Yeah.
But if you have someone who's really charismatic, and this is definitely, once again, does not apply to all people. This is just my personal general thought.
I agree with you though. So
Yeah, true.
It's not just you.
But if someone's like super charismatic and open, and they're like friends with everybody and doing all this other shit, they can express themselves that way and they get it out that way. The introverted people, they're like trying to figure out a way to like express themselves and like maybe like show themselves to the world. Like for me, I do that through my art. Like I can sit down and talk to anybody about anything, but I would rather bring like a visual representation to like what I think or like how I feel about something than just like, I don't know, using word, like talking creatively to somebody who's not creative. I don't know how to describe it.
It's like a different language.
Yeah, it is, because like they may think they understand, but do they like really understand? I don't know, it's just like weird to me. But introverted people, I think, are more artistic from my experience. I've met way more introverted people who are artistic than like the opposite.
Yeah. Where you're going to school, and you're going to be in a room full of introverts.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Don't let him be humble. He got into one of the most prestigious schools in Cincy.
Yes.
Probably Ohio.
Yeah.
Arts-wise.
I got into, I got into the Art Academy of Cincinnati, and it has like a 40% acceptance rate. Thank you.
Right, like, come on, man.
And they, I sent them my portfolio, and when I was just trying to apply, because I saw the acceptance rate, I was like, dude, like, please just like get in.
So you're
that's
saying
like,
there's a chance.
Yeah. I was like,
a chance.
please just like let me in, because like it's just tough.
Right.
Like, it's just tough as like you're putting your work out in front of somebody, and they're like judging if you're good enough based on it.
They can swat it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They could like, and I got an email back, and my eyes are super bad, by the way, guys. Like I'm like legally blind. Like
I'm legally blind.
Yeah. POP, hold it down. But I can't drive. I'm like legally blind. So they sent me this email, right? And it was the acceptance letter, and the font is like literally this big, right? So I like figured it was like either accepted or denied. So I just read the first sentence and said accepted, right? And I was like, thank God, dude. But like I wasn't like that hyped about it, because I was pretty confident, but I was like in the back of my head, I was like, dude, I've told so many people I'm going here. Like if I get declined, I'm gonna be pissed. But so I send it to my mom or whatever, right? Because whenever something big happens, my mom is like the first person I tell, always, because she just like means the world to me. But I sent it to her, and she goes, "Did you know you got a scholarship?" I was like, "What?" I was like, "What the fuck do you mean?"
What are you talking
I was like, "What do you mean?" And she was like, "You got a $60,000 scholarship to go like to school over 4 years or whatever." And I was like, at that point, I was like, oh my God. Like that's like another one of those things when you're an artist, you don't really understand the value of what you do until like somebody like in the same field kind of like shows respect or shows love to what you do.
Yeah.
And you asked me,
It doesn't even have to be monetarily.
Yeah,
it
it
can
literally
be like, oh man, that was dope, keep going.
Yeah, literally. Like you mentioned this, we were talking about this the other day. You asked me like, what's success to you? That's what you asked me. You said, what's success to you?
I remember it.
And I was just like, it's being respected by the people who do the same thing as me. Because if you are respected, like top tier people, like the people I respect me, that's success. I don't care how much money I have. I don't care who's around me. I don't care what clothes I'm wearing. Nothing. I'm trying to think. Edward OV on Instagram, disgusting. He does edits for Will Smith.
Shout out to him.
He does edits for Will Smith. I'm pretty sure he's like from Canada or something. I'm pretty sure he's not from America or United States. But he's disgusting. If like that guy saw my work and he's like, damn, that's pretty good, that would feel like $1 million check to me. My bank account may not feel like that, but to me, like, dude, I would be over the fucking moon. And why that's so important to me is because I understand if like that level of person respects me and what I do, my stuff is good enough to get me everything else that comes after that, which is like, I don't really care about fame that much. I mean, I would like DMP to be like a brand that people know and everything, but personally, but it comes like the attention comes with it, the monetary value comes with it, the just advantages in creating, like maybe you get to work with some like that person then, where like maybe that person wouldn't want to work for you if you gave them like $10,000 for whatever reason. Maybe they just don't like your work, and there's like that 10 grand is not worth enough to me. Like, it's just, that's why I see respect as more of a like valued, not currency, but like, you know what I mean.
I get
like
what you mean.
Like a valued attribute, I guess.
Right. So, it's priceless.
It really is. It really is, and that's why I always like to show love, because I know how it means to me. I see this man working so hard. Like, I thought...
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
He's working so hard. This man, what do you do on Monday? 2 podcasts and a music video?
2 podcasts, 2 music videos.
2 music videos, bro.
I was tired.
I have never made 4 videos I've never worked on 4 videos in a day in my life. And I've worked for 15 hours straight before.
Well, it's a different grind.
You're right. It is a different grind. But
I don't think I could stay up over 15 hours.
Just like,
but I can maximize when I'm awake.
True. Yeah. And that's like another reason why I have to stay up so late.
Yeah.
Because I just like push things back, you know. Like if I'm not feeling it, then it's like I'll start something and I'm like, this isn't it. Nope, this isn't it. We'll close After Effects. We'll try again in 2 hours. Well, now it's 12 o'clock. Try again. Oh, that didn't work. Wait 2 more hours. Oh, it's 2 a.m. That didn't work. 2 more hours. 4 a.m. This works. Now I have to stay up till 8:30 in the morning to finish it so I don't lose the idea, and then wake up the next morning and go to work at 11:30.
What is that? What do you call that? Like, you waiting for that inspiration? What is that to you?
What I call it, I don't know what I call it, but for what it is to me, it's what separates me from other people. Because I feel like a lot of people, like 3:30 a.m. rolls around, 4 o'clock in the morning rolls around, even 2, even 1, like, dude, I gotta go to bed, I got work in the morning, like, I don't want to work, but I gotta go. And like, there's nothing like wrong with doing that. Just for me, being able to run on 4 hours of sleep and work, like, be awake for those extra 20 hours, like, I need that. If I don't have that, I feel like I've lost my edge. So it's like in school, if someone, like, you have that one kid in math class, he can get homework done for the week in that hour that you're in that class, right? He's disgusting. But me, I may have to sit there and look at it for like 3 hours to get that same amount of work done. And like, he may have gotten done faster, but like, I was still able to get that end goal. And if I'm like, there's only so long you can get things done that fast, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, there's only, like, he may hit Calc 2 or something. He can't finish it in the class, and now he's not used to being able to like take it outside of school.
He's gonna start fucking with his mental.
Yep, and he's gonna start getting stressed because he has all this extra work to build up, and he's not used to like not having any social time or like stuff like that, and just being able to accept that I may need those extra hours and use them to my advantage is the best thing. But get your sleep, kids. Get your sleep. Literally. Not during this podcast, but get your sleep.
No, you could sleep during the podcast. I don't really give a fuck.
Get the view.
But you got an incredible work-life balance, though.
Yeah, I will say, so I serve at PF Chang's, and like I do everything else as well, but for anyone who has this kind of like work to life where like you, like some days you just have to like be up that late, or maybe you have to be up super early. To me personally, if you are between the ages of 16 and 22, you should be a server. I do not think there's any other, like at a nice restaurant, you can't be serving at like Frisch's or something. But you go serve at like a nicer restaurant, and you, for this like age range, you will make the most amount of money in the least amount of time. So, and monetary value is always up to the individual. Like,
you just gotta do your best.
Like, yeah, so you gotta do your best, and like $12 an hour might be a lot to somebody, and it's nothing to somebody else. But if you're serving, you'll go in for like 5-hour shifts, or maybe like you double that day, but you get like an extra day off. The fact that I can keep my like lifestyle without having to go to work for like 8 hours a day is like kind of that savior, I guess, to balance it. And the fact that like a lot of people, they gotta work in the morning, you know. I could not, if like my internship, I would have to be there at 8 a.m. Do you know how hard it is for me to get somewhere at 8 a.m., bro? It's a battle.
Versus me, I would love that.
Exactly. See, it's up to the individual. Yeah. So it took me years to get this like work-life balance down. I showed up late to work a lot from oversleeping a lot. Yeah. Not good. And if something like that ever happens to you, I'm not expecting anyone to follow these footsteps that I'm laying out. Just saying.
Show up late to work a lot.
Yeah, I'm
Stay
just
up till 11 a.m. a lot.
I'm
just successful.
Yes, you'll get there eventually. See how many jobs you go through first. But my work ethic out of work also translate to work. Like when I go to work, like regardless of my sleep, like I am a hard worker there. It's always like my parents taught me, my father, one of the hardest working people. And I'm sure everyone can say this, not everyone, but a lot of people can say this about their parents, is that they like are hardworking people, because you have to like see it as you grow up and everything. But
definitely, just
like make sure you take your work ethic everywhere. It's noticed, even if no one isn't saying anything about it. It is noticed.
Integrity.
Gotta
have that integrity to work hard even when nobody's looking.
If you can't work hard at your day job, how will you expect to be able to do your side hustle? You know.
Exactly.
Like,
or even grow your side hustle into something that you don't have to go to.
Exactly, because you're not working hard at work. They're giving you less hours. You're getting less money to put into the side hustle.
Right.
So, work ethic, seriously.
Yeah.
That's like the third thing. The look up, look down. The you don't know until you don't know, and just work hard.
Work hard. Yes.
Work hard and show love.
Yeah.
Show love to the people around you.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
You're a Twitch streamer, right?
Yeah.
Is that your like form of escapism, or is it like something that you like? What do you stream for?
So
playing video games, we know that's playing video.
Yeah,
that's different. That's a staple. But streaming, that's different.
Yeah, it's a little different. I won't say like my art and stuff on Instagram or like anywhere that I post it obviously is gonna do more numbers than I do streaming, because I put way more work into
right,
that than
exactly.
Streaming. But like streaming for me, the reason I started doing it is one, because quarantine. Like when quarantine first started, restaurants were like the first ones shut down, right? So I had a lot of free time. So I was like, fuck it, might as well. And I was just like, I kind of want to see, I didn't expect anything out of it, but I was like, if something happens, that'd be fucking sick. But I just wanted to kind of see what it was like to be in that medium, because that medium is something that is shooting up, bro. And this is this is comparable to, so basically what I'm trying to say is it's shooting up, it's rapidly growing in the environment that it's in.
Right.
And another thing that is rapidly growing that everyone should understand, this goes back to the DMP stuff, is at our age range, 23 to 17, and even maybe like a little bit older than
Probably
us.
say like 17 to 30.
What is the most, or not most, but like being a musician, being a rapper, being stuff like that is like, or being like a Twitch streamer, a YouTuber, is got to be the most saturated base that people are going for,
right now.
right?
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Like the digital entertainment industry is the most saturated thing, and everybody wants to be the face, right? So if there's all those faces that want to be a face, someone's got to make them look good.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's got to make their videos good. Someone's got to make their Twitter handle, like their Twitter pictures good. All that bullshit. If you're going into like the digital arts, the Twitch streaming, the YouTube, the SoundCloud, the Spotify, all that shit, you can find so many clients because everybody needs it, because they know if they don't have that music video, if they don't have those overlays, if they don't have those emotes, if they don't have those montages, they will not take the next step. Like, they need it because the people at the top have the best ones of those already, right? So that whole market is open, and I really do believe that is untapped so much. Like,
hence why DMP is a thing.
Literally, it's a completely untapped market. I was talking to, at my internship, I was talking to my boss there, and when I was telling him I was leaving, because when they had offered me the job there after I graduated, I was like, I need some time to think about it. Like, 2 days later passed, I came into him, he's like, so, like, what do you think? Like, are you gonna accept it? Like they gave me like a really good offer, right? And I just like told him no, and he was like, no disrespect, he's like, you're young, like, you got things to figure out, like, I completely understand. He's like, can I just ask why? Or I'm telling him I'm crying, but he's like, he's like, can I just ask why? And I was like, how much time you got? But I told him, like, how much time you got, and this was like at the end of the day, right? 4:30, we're leaving at 5, and he's like, well, I got 30 minutes, I guess, kind of. And I was like, you'll probably need a little bit more time than that. So he asked me to go out to eat with him after, because I was going to be ending there soon. If I wasn't accepting that job, there was like no reason for me to stay there. And I went and I sat down and talked to him, and I explained everything I'm doing. And he's like, that's super cool. He like looked at my stuff. He's like, yeah, like, I can never do that. All this good positive stuff. And he's like, but isn't everyone else like trying to do that? And like, isn't that saturated? It's gonna be like a tough thing to like go into, because he was like me and just trying to say, like, I always like look at the other thing. Like, if someone's trying to do something, I always want to make sure, especially my friends and people I care about, that they know the consequences, right? Because a lot of people can just like put their blinders on and like miss those consequences. And I will never say anything with malicious intent like that. I just want to make sure that they are ready, prepared, and know what they're getting into. So I learned that from him, because he did that to me the whole entire time I was there. Anyway, so I explained to him, and I told him about the untapped market, and he was sitting there, and he just like looked at me, and he's like, I always knew you were a smart kid. He's like, I always knew you were a smart kid. He's like, you do it. He's like, you just keep me updated on how you're doing and everything. I would love to see like where you end up. Like, it sounds like you've got it down.
Crazy.
And that's like another one of those points in life where you're doing something, you're not making any money from it. Yeah, you're not making, and like everyone's looking down at you. Like, everyone that everyone that I went to high school with, they're like getting ready to graduate college and all this stuff. They're like getting ready to go in their big boy jobs. And like that time was like really like hard for me to see, because it was like that I should be there too. But hearing like that come from someone who's in that position, it's like another one of those points in life. Do they come every like, I would say like
ever so often?
Yeah, every so often they hit you, and it's like really makes you
think.
It hits you.
It makes you step outside of yourself and be like, wow, like that was surreal. Mm-hmm. You know, you're like, what just happened?
It's like, it's worth it, because you don't know how like solid or like how validated your thoughts are and everything. Like, you can feel like they are, you can be confident in how you think and confident in how you feel, and there's nothing like wrong with that. But just hearing it from an outside source comes back to that respect thing. Yeah. Like, I respected him a lot, and for him to say that meant more than like the $60K a year that I would have gotten from them. Yeah. Because he offered me that, and then he basically agreed with me declining that to go on to something else. And it just like, I don't know, just, you guys gotta appreciate that. And if someone offers that to you, don't ever overlook it, and like, just make sure you show love back.
You gotta appreciate every offer, everything, you know what I'm saying? Because they take the time out to see the potential in you, regardless of if you say yes or no, to respect what you do enough, even if it's for a 9 to 5 or for DMP or whatever.
Yeah.
To at least give you the consideration of giving you something for what you do.
Exactly, bro.
So that's where you respect it.
Exactly. Dude, you nail right on the fucking head right there. I just wish, I feel like people in our age just, like, have not learned that yet. And, like, that's, like, one of those things, like, you'll know when you get older. Like, you ever have, like, a grandparents or something say that to you when you're little, you'll know when you get older. It's, like, one of those things.
It's like, man, fuck being older, bro. I'm trying to realize that now.
Yeah, definitely.
You know
But play for the late game. I don't know if you were there when I was talking about that late game.
Oh, yeah.
People, they play for the early game, and sometimes it works out. And, like, by early game, I mean, like, that like, 17 to, like, 23 range. They, like, just play to be, like, look successful at that time. But, like, once you get past, like, 25 and stuff, you're out of college. You're not there to really, like...
It's not about looking cool.
It's not about looking cool to your peers or anything anymore. Like, that shit's on you now. So, it's just, like, that late game is, like, 27 to the rest of your life. If you can set yourself up, I mean, there's, like, you obviously...
You still got
changes.
time, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure, dude. That's, like, one thing... Like, I feel so old being 23. Like, I'm not 21 anymore. I waited so long to get to 21 right, and I'm like, damn, dude, I'm not 21 anymore. That's so weird. But then you look at life expectancy. It's like, oh, in America, 70, 80? I got 50, 60 more years left. Like, just generally, like, obviously, no one knows what's going to happen tomorrow, but that's, like, a lot of time. That's, like, more time than I've been here already. So, if I've done this much in this time, what can I do in the late game time?
Exactly.
You know, when I've already gone through all the mistakes from my when I got done with all my mental health issues and everything. I was about to be 22. So from, like, the 22 to 0 to 22, all the mistakes that I made there, and I still got to this point where I'm at 23. How far can I get without making those mistakes?
Right.
You know?
Right.
Exactly. And of course, like, there's more mistakes that are going to be made. You just learn from them and you go on.
Yeah.
You know?
We're in a constant state of learning every second.
Information age, dude. I'm telling you.
Greatest age of all time.
It is. It's the best time to be alive. Yeah. Regardless of COVID, regardless of, like, anything else that is going on in the world. Like, there's obviously problems that need to be fixed, and there's, like, sad things going on, heartbreaking things. But regardless, it still is for the average. Well, I mean, I'm speaking in America. Mm-hmm. The average American is living a way better life than anyone would live 70 years ago, 80 years ago. Could you imagine? When they... Yep, exactly. I was about to say, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter what I say because it's crazy, bro. Back in New York in, like, 1907, when they first got the cars out, people were driving without seatbelts. People were walking across the road without like, crosswalks or anything. Like, that shit's scary. They didn't have air conditioning. Bro, call me a baby back bitch, but I cannot live without some air conditioning. Are you kidding me?
Well, it's supposed to be easier for humanity. Like, they fought against seatbelts being placed in cars.
I saw that shit on Twitter the other day. I was like, are you, like, and now we look at it like, those people are fucking...
Why the hell wouldn't you put a
Yeah,
seatbelt?
exactly, bro. Like, I flipped my car when I was 17. Wow. And yeah, dude, that was another really important thing that happened in my life. Literally, like, I was driving to school, and the greatest thing about this, and literally, I'm so grateful for this, like, regardless of what happened to me, I used to drive my sisters to school every single day, right? I used to drive them to school every single day. It just so happened to be OGT week that week, which is like the Ohio graduation test for you guys that don't know. And they were in middle school at the time, and I was in high school, and I was in a sophomore, so I got to come in late, but they still had to go because they were in middle school, so they rode the bus that day. And oh my God, dude. If I would have flipped my car on the way to school with them in it, like, I think about that shit all the time. I was literally upside down in my car on my windshield. I didn't have my seatbelt on either. I didn't get hurt at all. I was literally on my windshield, like, just, like, laying down on my back, bro. Life's crazy.
Car accidents are they're a gut check, man.
Eye-opening, bro. Yeah. Eye-opening, like, because at that point, you're 16, 17 years old, bro. You feel like you're invincible, low-key. Because you
nothing low key about it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, nothing low key about that. You feel like you're invincible. Some shit like that happens, bro. That'll pull life can pull you away at any second.
Like that, man.
And that's why you don't chase clout or money, because what stays when someone dies? Respect. Respect. Kobe's respect is going to live on forever.
R.I.P.
Forever. And, like, you can say, like, someone's money or clout definitely is still there when they die, but it's just, I don't know, respect.
It's fleeting.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
No.
So, this shit's crazy.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on last thing too. Wanted to touch on, you were talking about how DMP is like your baby, and having somebody come in and work with that is a process.
Yeah.
Explain that. Explain why creatives hold that process so dear.
So I think it goes back to it depends on the person, of course. It depends on the people and everything.
Say what's up, Ryan. Say what's up to the camera.
So it depends on the people, right? I feel like people willing to let more people come in just because, like, they may feel like their brand is growing because they have more people a part of it. Those are early game people. Those are people not playing for the late game. Those are early game people. They want that instant success, that instant gratification. And what goes on to, like, about the process and why that is a problem to me with the process is when you start having a bunch of different people, it's a bunch of random variables. Like, you think you know someone, but you can't predict, like, how they're gonna act, or, like, maybe you guys do start to blow up a little bit and then they, like, start, like, turning on you. I don't know. So keeping it super small is just, like, if I'm going to, once again, we're going back to the sleep schedule. I bring this up way more than I should. But if I'm going to stay up till 7 a.m. to finish a project 3 nights in a row, then I want someone else who's going to do the same thing, you know? It's like you're a team. You need to count on your teammates, and you need to make sure that they can count on you. It goes back to respect. If I respect my teammates, that means I can count on them. If they respect me, that means they can count on me, you know? And that kind of process is, like, something that doesn't happen right away, you know? Like, that takes time. Like, I need to, like, someone can say that they work this much and say that they do this much, but have I seen it? Have I seen them working and been like, you really think you're going to outwork me? Like, if someone wants to be a part of DMP and they're outworking me, they can be a part of it, but they're not going to be outworking me much longer, bro.
Right.
And, again, healthy competition. It's like, you maybe beat me to the ball this time, the next time I'm going to beat you to the ball, and we're just going to keep going back and forth, and that's going to push us. So it really just comes down to that late game theory once again, and being critical in a non-negative way of, like, when people come to you.
Right.
Like, if you're an artist and you can't be okay with someone saying, like, what you're doing isn't our type of work, or, like, what you're doing isn't, like, up to our standards, maybe work on it a little bit and come back and see what happens once you've, like, learned a little more and, like, grew a little more as an artist, then you shouldn't be an artist. That was, like, that would be, like, part of the process of getting a DMP. Like, we would have to see someone be able to, because we critique ourselves personally a lot and each other, and we both know that we can take it. And if you add someone in because they're really good, and then, like, maybe, like, they do something that isn't, like, our type of style or our type of, like, vibe, and then we say something to it, and then everything just blows up because they think that we hate them now, or, like, insecurities and stuff like that. Just people being random variables. I don't like I like being in control. Not like, I don't know, it's not like a control freak, but it, like, it's my baby, you know? Right. Like, I don't want someone to come and, like, fuck my baby up, right? Because, yeah, I could, like, if God forbid, or, like, anything bad happening to DMP, not saying that whatsoever, but if something did happen, could I probably go and do something on my own? Probably, but I just wouldn't, like, I don't know how I feel about it, but it's just, like, if DMP got fucked up because of someone else, bro, my artistic, like, abilities personally, I don't think it would be able to, like, overcome that. Just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I would be so mad for so long because the work that was put in just, like, done for nothing. So I don't know. I think people need to be really careful about, and like working with someone and having them join is completely different, right? And that's like the distinction. Like, we are down to work with a lot of people. We want to work with as many people as we can, because the more people you work with, the more information you get, the more respect you get, the more you just get to grow as a brand, a person, an individual, a group, everything. We want to work with as much people. It's just like getting, like, we've had people like send us photos or like stuff like that, and like we should like work together and stuff, and then like they start talking about like not joining, but like being a part of DMP, or I guess joining, being a part of the same thing, and we're just like, no, like, and there's no disrespect, it's just like, no. Like, I don't know how to describe it.
I kind of treat working with people like them joining.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
it's
that'll weed out 97%.
Yeah, it's like joining the friend group, but not joining the family.
Exactly.
That's like how, like, if you're part of the family, like, you gotta earn your spot in the family, because we earned our spots. You gotta earn. It's like the JV and the varsity team.
Exactly.
And like, you can play JV, you can be there, you'll do your thing, but you gotta earn your spot for the varsity spot. And no disrespect, you just gotta, if they did it, you can do it, kind of thing. And we're not opposed to people joining. It's just like a very serious thing, you know.
You have to treat it that way, or it's not gonna grow like it needs to be.
Exactly, bro. You fuck my baby up, I'll fuck you up.
Yeah. It's literally sitting in an incubator, just growing at the.
Literally, bro. And I'm just like waiting for this bitch to hatch open. I'm like, okay,
then
please.
wreak fucking havoc.
Yeah, yeah, literally, dude. Like, and like, I'm not gonna try to keep going too long, but the most important, or what I'm trying to do is with digital media is the so you brought up what did you bring up? Holy shit. It's like wait, so the saturate, do you know how I was talking about the saturation? Yeah. Bringing there's so many faces that want to be like on the screen, or like on the Twitch stream, or like anything like that. I want, like, Cole Bennett has done this well. He has a face for the production. Like, he has created a brand built around him, and like, it's like people see Cole Bennett and like, that's Cole Bennett. I personally think I could go to anybody our age range that, like, all the frat houses over here down in Probasco, ask them, like, do you guys know who Cole Bennett is? Like, they would say, yeah. They would say, yeah. Like, can you name another video producer? Another editor? Not a fucking chance, dude. I doubt they can. Maybe one person out of every, like, 100 could. But I want people to really respect, like, the effort and the work that's put into it, and give credibility to, like, the visual artists, because it's needed. Like, people spend more time on those music videos than those rappers or like musicians would ever spend on their song. Yep. And that needs to be like shown off, like, recognized, exactly, elevated,
put on the pedestal.
Literally, dude. It needs to be respected, just like the common person, and they don't need to sit there and like bow down to it or whatever. But like, I would just like to see a video producer like show up on TV or something. I don't know, for just like fun. Like, Cole Bennett got a TED Talk, or not Cole. Wait,
we're here. I got it. Video producers, we're here.
Literally, we're here.
This is damn near TV.
Yeah, right. Literally. I mean, it's basically there. It's TV of 2020.
True.
Yeah.
True. But no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it just, I really like, that's something that's really important to me. I think that's another thing that like propels me, because I have like a motive for myself, but also for others. Like, I want, it doesn't have to be me, it doesn't have to be DMP, but if we can help the process of having
inspire to inspire.
Exactly.
You hit it right on the nose, man.
Definitely, for sure. Yeah.
But thank you for coming.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Appreciate it. It was a long one, but it was good.
Oh man,
some good quality.
That's what she said. We'll see you guys on the next episode, man. Peace out.
See you guys.